Hello, Carol.
Symbolism plays a powerful role throughout the series. Chemistry is not merely a science, it is a metaphor for chain reactions of choices. A small decision, like a chemical reaction, can lead to a massive explosion. Walter understands this better than anyone, yet he believes the formula is always under his control, a delusion that ultimately destroys him. In the end, Breaking Bad is a story of downfall, magnificent and painful at the same time. It is the story of a man who lied to himself and repeated that lie so often that it became his truth. Walter White reminds us that evil does not always begin with bad intentions. Sometimes it begins with wounded pride, fear of being insignificant, and a single just this once. Perhaps that is why Breaking Bad remains alive years later, because it is not about drugs or crime, it is about human nature, about the terrifying question: if we lose everything, who do we become? The continuation of this journey is where Walter no longer even tries to justify himself. A point arrives when the mask of "for my family" begins to crack and the hidden truth beneath it emerges. He is no longer merely reacting, he is designing the game. This is the most frightening aspect of Walter's character, the moment he stops being a victim and consciously chooses to become a monster. Heisenberg is not just an alias, it is Walter's second identity, one that allows him to do what Walter White, the teacher, never dared to do. In this identity, pride is no longer hidden, it is direct, cold, and merciless. His sentences become shorter, his gaze heavier, and his silences more deliberate. Even his body language changes. The way he stands, walks, and looks reflects how power reconstructs a human being from the inside out. Walter's relationships with others, especially those closest to him, mirror his downfall. He cannot tolerate partnership because partnership means sharing power. For Walter, the world must have a single center, and that center must be himself. Anyone who threatens this order is eventually removed, sometimes through violence, sometimes through manipulation, and sometimes through calculated silence. This is where the series shows us that true evil is not always loud. Sometimes it is calm, logical, and even convincing. The tragedy is that Walter gradually gains everything while simultaneously losing everything. The money increases, but meaning fades. Power grows, but security disappears. The family that once served as his justification becomes a witness to his collapse. He reaches the peak he dreamed of for years, but when he looks down, there is no one left beside him. At this stage, Breaking Bad becomes a story of absolute loneliness. Walter trusts no one because he himself is the greatest liar. He no longer knows where to stand because every moral boundary that once existed has already been crossed. This ethical disorientation is more punishing than any external consequence. And perhaps the series' most devastating blow is this. For a long time, Walter believes he is winning. He believes he is smarter, faster, and stronger than everyone else. But Breaking Bad teaches us that absolute control is an illusion. The chain reaction eventually reaches a point where it can no longer be contained, even if you are a chemistry genius. In the end, Walter White becomes a character who cannot be defended, yet cannot be ignored. He is neither a hero nor merely a villain. He is an extreme example of something that exists, on a smaller scale, in many people. The fear of being ordinary and the dangerous desire to matter at any cost. Breaking Bad dares to do what few stories attempt. It forces us to witness the birth of evil, step by step, logically and convincingly. And when the story ends, a question remains, one perhaps more important than Walter himself. If we had intelligence, opportunity, and a seemingly justified reason, how far would we go?
Breaking Bad is not merely the story of a chemistry teacher who loses his way.
It is a narrative about the slow collapse of a human being, about a point where the line between being forced and wanting becomes so thin that it disappears entirely. At the center of this storm stands Walter White, an ordinary man with a calm exterior, yet a mind that gradually evolves into one of the most complex characters in television history. At first, we see Walter as a defeated man. A genius who once had the potential to change the future of science is now teaching high school chemistry for a modest salary, lecturing students who barely pay attention to his name. This contrast forms the core of his character, the painful gap between what he could have been and what he is. When illness enters his life, Breaking Bad poses its central question. If time were limited, how far would a person be willing to go? Walter's decision to enter the drug world appears, on the surface, to be an act of necessity, providing for his family's future. But the beauty and bitterness of the series lie precisely here. The further we go, the clearer it becomes that money was only an excuse. More than anything else, Walter is hungry for power, control, and recognition. He wants to prove that he still matters, that he can still have an impact, even if that impact is destructive. The gradual transformation of Walter White into Heisenberg is one of the most meticulously crafted character arcs in television history. This change is not sudden, it is incremental. Each wrong choice burns a bridge behind him and pushes him one step further forward. What is truly unsettling is that the audience often sympathizes with him, and that sympathy forces us to confront ourselves. If we were in his place, would we really make better decisions? Breaking Bad creates a gray world where hero and villain are indistinguishable. Walter is sometimes a caring father and sometimes a ruthless monster. He can be both a victim of circumstances and the architect of catastrophe. This duality makes him frighteningly real because he resembles real human beings, not cartoon villains.